Hey over there, Joe Lunchbox.
And Joey Nightingale.
And today we've landed right here in Wilmington, Delaware. The reason we are here in Delaware today is to bring to you the home of Bob Marley. I know what you're saying, Bob Marley. He lived in Jamaica. Well, you're in Wilmington, Delaware. Well, he did live here a little bit of his life, and we're going to show you where he lived. And we figured, why not start this video here in One Love Park? And that's what we're going to do. Hopefully you like this kind of thing. We always appreciate if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. What is your favorite Bob Marley song? But it's time to do this. Step right up. Let's go for this ride. So Joy, before we get started, what Bob Marley song do you like?
I like quite a few of his. I love the Three Little Birds. I like the Buffalo Soldiers is cool. And the Long Love.
My favorite is Redemption Song, and your second one, Buffalo Soldier, is my second favorite. But we're standing in One Love Park, and talking about One Love, there's a sign about it. So here, One Love Park, originally named Tatnall Street Playground in 1907. This park is located across the street from the home at 2311 Tatnall Street that the singer-songwriter Bob Marley occupied with his mother in 1966. In order to raise funds to start his own record label in Jamaica, Marley assumed the alias Donald Marley and worked as a lab assistant at DuPont and on the assembly line in nearby Chrysler plant, among other jobs. To honor Marley's time in Delaware, the park was renamed One Love Park in 2014, taking its name from the singer's hit 1977 song with the Wailers, One Love, People Get Ready. It is a cute little playground. It is cool that because he lived here, they're honoring him in 2014. They changed the name of this. And you always tell me, this area has a high Jamaica population. We actually have some of Bob Marley's family still lives in Wilmington around this area. But you might be wondering, how did Bob Marley end up here in Wilmington?
Yeah, how?
I'm glad you asked. Well, to talk about that, we have to go back to the beginning. When Bob Marley was born, he was born Robert Nestor Marley, February 6, 1945. So his mother, Cedella Malcolm, and his father, Norval Sinclair Marley. Their relationship, let's say, so his mother was 18 when she had Bob, and the father was a 60-year-old from England that was there for work. The father and mother got married. Bob Marley's born, and that's the end we really hear the father. Bob Marley's father dies at 10. Bob Marley didn't talk about his father, so we're not going to talk about his father. Obviously, now we have a single mother raising Bob Marley. So at the age of 12, Bob Marley and his mother move into an area called Trenchtown. It's an area in Kingston, and the mother moves in with Thaddeus Livingston. Now, Thaddeus' son, Neville, was friends with Bob growing up. Now, Neville Livingston ends up turning into Bunny Wailer. Now, that's, in case you don't know, it was Bob Marley and the Wailers, but first they were just the Wailers. In fact, by the time they were Bob Marley and the Wailers, Bunny Wailer wasn't even in it, but that's neither here or there. So, now Bob's living with one of his friends, and they get into music. So by 1963, the Wailers form. It's Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, and Bob Marley. One of their first songs was One Love. As we see here, it actually was recorded in 65. Different rendition. One Love originally was more of a ska song. He redid it again in 70, and in 75, it was rewritten again to be this rendition that sort of was one of their big breakout songs. And this one, it was Bob Marley and the Wailers. Now, from that, Marley's mother ends up marrying another man named Edward Booker. Edward Booker was a civil servant from the United States working in Jamaica, and she decides to come with her new husband here. So after his mother got married, June 9th, 1964, she immigrated to America. She ends up getting a house here on Tatnall Street. In 1966, Bob Marley, as the sign says, his mom was trying to get him to move here already, but he wanted to stay in Jamaica. That's what his roots were. A lot has changed in his life. He ends up adopting the Rastafarian religion. He meets a woman. He gets married, and a few days after he gets married, in 1966, February 1966, he moves here. Now, we're obviously paraphrasing his life. He ends up, of course, going back to Jamaica. Sadly, he dies very young at the age of 36 from cancer. It's a whole story. I love Bob Marley's music. It's one of the reasons we're here. The sign has some facts that are right, some facts that could be right but also wrong. I don't know.
Questionable, yeah.
Questionable. So as we look at the sign, it says he did come here as Donald Marley and he worked as a lab assistant at DuPont. I can't find any records except the sign that he was a lab assistant at DuPont. We found the forms he filled out for his immigration status, and it's also a transcript of
the questions and answers.
Yeah, that he talked with an immigration officer. And on it, when it talks about he first flew into Miami, he made his way here by the time he was filling out this form, and for 6 months before he filled the form, he worked at the DuPont Hotel. 2 blocks that way is Market Street. You make a right, you go a few blocks down, you make another right. There's the DuPont Hotel. So it was owned by DuPont. We can't see that he was a lab assistant at DuPont. We can know he works at the DuPont Hotel because on that question and answer,
I think it stated like he was a houseman or something like that.
Yeah, so he was cleaning
Like
up
cleaning.
the hotel, and he worked at the Hotel DuPont. Now, the Chrysler plant, he didn't actually work on the assembly line. He did work on the assembly line, but not like actually on the line itself. He worked a night shift, and he was a forklift driver. And this actually could be seen in his song Night Shift. I'm going to pull out my phone because I have the words to that song. In the song Night Shift, which Bob Marley came out in 1976, it actually says, working on the forklift in the night shift, working on the night shift with the forklift. From AM to PM, work on the night shift, yeah. I'm not going to sing the song, but you can see, that's why him working a night shift, actually using a forklift, is supposedly the inspiration for it. He didn't stay with his mom for that long. He did eventually go back to Jamaica, where obviously he made it to become a superstar. But he lived right over there. And let's go look at his house. So right there, 2311, the house that says 311 right now in front of us. I have a gray car walking up the stairs. Just imagine, those stairs look like they could have been here in 1966. Bob Marley walked up those stairs, lived in this house, practiced his guitar, all while working these odd jobs, trying to make money, returned home to Jamaica. And a lot of stuff although happened here in Wilmington. Bob Marley's second child was born here. Some of his kids went to elementary school here. Wilmington was an important part in his life and his family's life. And now, he lived at 2311. We are looking at the one with the house with the white porch center of the screen. But the house to its right, that the porch was turned into a room, 2313, on some papers that are formed out in forms, it said that the mother lived there too. I can't confirm that. Everything that we said that he lived at 2311. I don't know if another family member lived at 2313, and that's why that was also used, but from what we see, 2311 was the house that they lived at. Playground on the right, looking down the sidewalk. One of the few photos we actually have of Bob Marley here in Wilmington, we can see him here with a little child and a soccer ball, lining up with the fence, the playground on the right, the house at the end of the road. This obviously wouldn't have been 1966. In 1966, Bob Marley didn't have the dreadlocks yet. He just converted to the Rastafarian lifestyle. He had short hair up to that point. So this was definitely taken, I would say, sometime in the 70s. I can't confirm when exactly this photo was taken, though. But it was another time Bob was up here visiting family. So we showed you his house. We showed you One Love Park. There is one house around the corner behind those bushes that pays tribute to Bob Marley. They painted the front of the house with his image. So we're going to head that way and look at that house. Here we have the house that we can see painted in the colors of the Jamaican flag. 2 portraits of Bob Marley. I heard that this house is owned by some of his family. I can't confirm or deny it, but we have hats for sales. We can see 2 things. One of Bob Marley's face in a black and white photo, and then another of him actually on stage singing. Good, powerful images. It's a cool house. And that literally is right across the street from the One Love Park. Also have a flag flying with Bob Marley on it. Waiting for the wind to catch a little. There we go. So we showed you Bob Marley's house. We showed you One Love Park. But the video is not over. We're actually going to, me and Joy have recently been going to all the high points. If you don't know what high points are, there's one per state, it's the highest point per state. So we figured, why not do the highest point of the state after we show you One Love Park and Bob Marley's house. No, this is not a drug joke. Yes, someone could say it is Bob Marley, ha 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 ha, high point. Him doing the substances he chose to do was part of his Rastafarian religion. We wouldn't make fun of someone's religion. It would be better if I said, to me, personally, my connection with Bob Marley, besides growing up listening to music, liking the music, is my friend Spliff that passed away in 2011. Was a big Bob Marley fan. He had a giant tattoo on his leg of Bob Marley. And instead of saying goodbye to us, whenever we would just leave for the night, he would say one love. And it always stuck with me. And he was the leader of my group, Disgraceland. And they were a suspension sideshow team. And the whole point of One Love, the whole idea of Bob Marley, is acceptance, equality. And that was a big message of most of the music. And Arwen always had that, let everyone in. If someone's hungry, he'd feed them. And I liked that concept. So much so that when Arwen passed away, Arwen is split, in case you don't watch all of our videos. When Arwen passed away, he was cremated, and they made some tattoo ink out of his ashes, and I got the words "One Love" tattooed on me. Getting a little choked up, sorry. Bob Marley's song, what Arwen also said when he would say goodbye instead of goodbye. And that would be another good reason to say that we're going to the high point, because Arwen, besides Sideshow, I knew in Boy Scouts we would go hiking, and hiking to a high point ties into Boy Scouts, ties into Arwen, and it's all connected to me. But that's not the true reason either, even though that's a good reason. The real reason is that the high point's actually just like a few miles away, and we're never really around here, so we might as well go do it while we're here. So let's get in the car and go. Another thing I wanted to say, and I forget, sometimes I have thoughts in my head and get clouded, is I think it's cool that how Bob Marley tried to inspire the world, and he did inspire the world, and a message of peace, a message of equality with all his music. I think it's cool that Wilmington, Delaware honored with making it the One Love Park, but also how he tried to make the world a better spot. His mother tried to make like Wilmington better, and back in the day, in the 60s through the early 70s, she owned a spot called Roots. It was a music center that sort of became like a cultural hub for the Jamaican community. And like how the family's still here, it's cool how like the family sort of does at a micro scale what Bob Marley did to the world, trying to make it a better spot. So we made ourselves about 15 minutes away from Bob Marley's house to a spot called Ebright Azimuth. Ebright is the name of the people that own the land where the high point was discovered. Azimuth is a earth is round, an angle thing, I'm not sure. But that's the name of this high point. Like I was saying, Joy and I have made our way to numerous high points. It is the highest point per state. So there's 50 high points. We're almost a fifth of the way done. We actually have a playlist of all the high points that we've documented. Now, we figured we're in Delaware, it's time for a hike. This might not be the highest of the high points. In fact, Delaware might be the first state, but this is the 49th high point. Meaning, Florida's the lowest elevation, this is the second lowest. So Joy, are you ready for a hike to get to Delaware's high point?
Sure.
All right. So that's it. This is Delaware's high point. We're on the side of the road. I'm going to show you the road. It's a bench. There is no hike. You can come. If you want to try doing the 50 high points, you want the easiest one, it does not get easier than this. There is a sign. Let me show you the sign. So from the bench we were sitting on, if we go over, Ebright Azimuth, the highest benchmark monument in Delaware, is located on Ebright Road. This horizontal control mark denotes an elevation of 447.85 feet above sea level. The Delaware Geological Survey, through its relationship with the National Geodetic Survey, has determined that this benchmark monument is in the vicinity of the highest natural elevation in the state. It's a benchmark and an actual bench. So there it is, Delaware's highest point, 447.85 feet above sea level. It literally is just a bench. There's a road, we're on a little hill. I don't know, to me personally, like judging from ones like getting to the top of Mount Washington or even Connecticut's is a little hike with lots of scrambling. It's a tough hike. You can see Joy's face. It was a tough hike, but we did it, right? Well, it was only like 3 hours, not like an 8-hour hike. I mean, it's a little hike. I feel like literally we parked over there. We walked right here. I feel like we cheated. I feel like we need a hike. I think, Joy, we need to start over again and do this from the great state of Pennsylvania and hike all the way from Pennsylvania to Delaware's highest point. What do you think?
Sure, let's go
All right.
for it.
All right. We just got to get to Pennsylvania first to then hike back. Whew. Oh, I hope we could do this. All right. We're gonna make it soon. We're gonna make it soon. I wonder what the sign says. Oh, welcome to the. Oh, Joy, we're in Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool.
Let's go do the hike. We're gonna make it, Joy. Signs trying to like turk me out of it. Like, you can't do it. You should stop. I'm gonna make it, sign. I'm gonna make it. Joy, you bring any snacks or water? I'm getting tired.
In the car.
I'm gonna finish this thing, go to the car. There it is. I've made it. All right, we made it, Joy. Since we made the hike, I think we could call this video. What do you say?
I think so.
So we went to Wilmington, Delaware, and brought you along as we showed you where Bob Marley lived with his mom at her house. Showed you One Love Park, and then we made it to the high point of the state of Delaware. Time to call it. Bob Marley's house in High Point. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels
Goodies.
and live life.